Ever get that feeling like you're not just, living in the world, but actually like shaping it in some way?
It's a fascinating idea, right?
That's exactly what we're diving into today. That idea that our intentions, they might actually have the power to mold reality.
Wow.
We're going to be exploring some excerpts from You Are the World Builder, Intention, and Shaping Reality. And I think this is going to make you rethink your place in the universe a little bit.
Yeah, it really does shift your perspective from, that feeling of just a fixed world that we all just react to. What if instead we're actually active participants in creating the very reality that we experience?
Right. Like we've all heard that saying, thoughts become things. But this deep dive takes it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Like the source material gets into some pretty wild stuff, suggesting that consciousness isn't just, locked away in our heads,
Mm.
but it's part of this dynamic field connecting all of us.
And it's within that field that intention acts as a force, almost like a sculptor shaping clay.
So it's not just, wishful thinking, right? This is about our thoughts and our focus having an actual impact on what happens around us.
Absolutely. And it's not about denying the laws of physics or anything like that, but it's about understanding there might be more to the story than we traditionally think. This is where the double slit experiment comes in. Have you heard about that
Oh,
one?
yeah. Well, the one where electrons are like particles or waves, depending on if
Totally.
they're being observed.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one.
It's one of those things that makes you go, wait, what?
It's mind-blowing.
But the really mind-blowing part is what it suggests. Like the very act of observation, of focusing our attention, it seems to influence the outcome.
It's almost as if the observer is actually participating in the creation of reality, not just passively witnessing it.
Okay, so if that's happening at like the subatomic level,
Mhm.
what's the potential impact on, our actual lives?
I mean,
Think about it. Have you ever been super focused on a goal
mm.
and suddenly things just start falling into place? Like resources appear, connections are made, obstacles just vanish.
Yeah, that's what's so intriguing about this concept. It's not about denying effort, but understanding that focused intention might be the catalyst for these synchronicities. It's like our intentions create a ripple effect in the field, influencing the probabilities of certain events actually happening.
And this isn't just, anecdotal stuff. The author talks about the research from the Peer Lab at Princeton, where they study the effect of focused intention on random number generators. And get this, people could actually influence the results
Wow.
subtly, but consistently.
That's incredible. The implications of that are huge. Imagine if we could harness this power intentionally.
But the source material is really clear that it's not just about, hoping or wishing. It's about the clarity and the consistency of our intentions. Like if our thoughts are all over the place, the signal gets lost in the noise.
Mm.
But when we're clear about what we want and we focus our energy consistently,
It's like tuning a radio to the right frequency, and suddenly the signal comes through loud and clear.
oh, that's a perfect analogy.
I like that one.
So it's like we're planting these seeds of intention,
Mm-hmm.
and the field is that fertile ground that helps them grow.
Exactly. And this is where quantum physics gets really interesting. Remember quantum entanglement?
Oh, yeah.
Particles being linked across vast distances. It supports this idea of a unified field connecting everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's morphic resonance, the idea that patterns strengthen with repetition as if the field itself is learning and adapting.
So we're not just shaping our own little bubble of reality, but potentially contributing to like a collective reality that's influenced by all of our intentions.
Now, that's a powerful thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
It makes you wonder about the ripple effects of every choice we make, every intention we set. But how do we actually cultivate those clear, powerful intentions, the ones that really make waves?
Right. It's easy to say, just focus your intention. But our minds are like the opposite of focused. It's just a constant stream of thoughts and worries and to-do lists. So how do we cut through all that noise?
Well, the source actually uses this really great analogy. The gardener.
Oh, I like analogies. Tell me more.
So think about it. A gardener has the intention to grow something beautiful, right? But they don't just stop at the thought. They prep the soil, they water, they protect the seedling from harsh elements. Their actions align with their intention.
Okay. Yeah, I see where you're going with this. It's not enough to just like wish for a thriving garden. You got to actually put in the work. You got to tend to it. Intention sets the direction, but action brings it to life.
Exactly. And just like a gardener has to deal with weeds and pests, we have to manage those distractions and that mental noise that can weaken our intentions.
Oh, tell me about it. Social media, the news, that never-ending mental to-do list. It's a wonder we get anything done at all.
Right. And that's where discipline comes in, as the source emphasizes. Quieting the mind, creating space for those intentions to resonate more clearly.
So it's not just about focusing on like the what, but also cultivating the how, like finding practices that help us clear out the mental clutter, maybe something like meditation.
You got it. The author mentions meditation as a key tool for sharpening intention. It's about training the mind to focus, to channel that energy with laser-like precision.
And there's a lot of research on this too, right? Like studies showing that focused intention can have measurable effects on things like healing, even if some people try to write it off as just the placebo effect.
Right, but even if it is placebo, who cares? If it works, it works. The point is we're open to exploring these possibilities, experimenting to see what helps us tap into this power of intention.
Okay, so we've talked about clarity, consistency, focus, but what about the actual content of our intentions? Like, does what we focus on matter as much as how we focus?
Oh, absolutely. Remember, we're talking about co-creating with this field. It's a partnership. And clear communication is essential in any partnership.
So if we're constantly sending out intentions that are rooted in fear or scarcity negativity, are we likely to get more of that back?
It's a real possibility. The field responds to the vibration of our intentions. If we're vibrating at a low frequency, we might attract experiences that match that frequency.
But if we shift that vibration to a higher frequency, one of love, abundance, gratitude, could that change what we experience?
It's certainly worth exploring. The author even suggests that our intentions can ripple across time, influencing not just the present, but the past and future as well.
Wait.
So we've been exploring this wild idea that our intentions could be shaping reality, working with this field. But if that's true, then why does it feel like life still throws us curveballs? You know, why do bad things happen even when we're trying to focus on the positive? Like if we're really co-creating with this field, why doesn't everything just go our way all the time?
It comes down to understanding that it's a partnership, not a dictatorship. We're not in control of the field, but we are active participants. It's like we're learning to dance with this powerful force, figuring out how to move in harmony with it.
So instead of feeling like we're constantly getting tossed around by the waves of life, what if we could learn to surf those waves?
Exactly. It's about recognizing that the field is our playground, and intention is the tool that lets us interact with it, to shape it, to mold it. It's not about denying the challenges, but choosing how we respond to them. So it's like, do we buy into the story of being a victim, or do we step into our power as co-creators?
The author points out something really interesting. The people who blame circumstance often stay stuck, while those who focus their intent and persist, they actually tend to shift their world. It's not about ignoring reality, but choosing how we engage with it.
That reminds me of that quote, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. Maybe intention is that key to mastering that 90%.
Absolutely. And it's not about forcing our will on the field. It's more about aligning our intentions with its natural flow, working with it, not against it.
Like a river, right? You can't force a river uphill, but you can learn to navigate its currents to get where you want to go.
Perfect analogy. The author talks about standing in the hum of the now, suggesting that the present moment is where the field is most receptive to our intentions.
It's not about dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, but being fully present. Right here, right now, that's where the magic happens.
Precisely.
So what does all this mean for the folks listening in? What's the takeaway here?
I think it's an invitation to reconsider the story we've been told about reality, the story of a fixed reality in linear time. What if we're actually living in this dynamic, responsive field that we can co-create with? What if our awareness is like a current flare? We can steer, guiding us towards the experiences we want.
That's a powerful thought. And the cool thing is we can all experiment with this. The author encourages us to set clear intentions, observe what unfolds, and notice those subtle shifts and synchronicities that might be the field responding.
So here's our final thought for you. If the field truly responds to focused intention, what will you choose to create? What reality will you choose to build?
That's it for our deep dive into intention and reality shaping. We hope this has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to explore your own power as a world builder. Until next time, keep diving deep.